my people, I'm gonna be super quick, as quick as possible. Sorry if I'm looking crazy. I just leaving the gym. Shout out to my gym, Strong Style. We have the heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC, Stipe Miocic. Congrats on that victory. So I'm gonna be real quick. So I had this dream, and I dream a lot, but it seemed like in this season I've been dreaming a whole lot more than what I usually do. And the dream was really, really strange. So in this dream, I was talking to my wife, and things were going like just I guess normal. Then it was a change in the atmosphere, like the spiritual and the physical atmosphere. So in the atmosphere, I was looking up in the sky, and the clouds were turning dark and gloomy, and you would think that it was getting ready to rain, but it wasn't like a rain coming. I knew that this was a little bit different. So I told my wife in a dream, I'm like, it's something strange coming. Like we need to go. We need to get out of here. Like it's something really strange. And she was saying that she felt the same way in her spirit. So she went out. She was I guess going to the store to try to get us some items to get on the road and things of that nature. And we're running around trying to pack stuff up, trying to get stuff together, just trying to do a whole bunch of different things to get ready to get on the road trip. We didn't know where we were going, but we knew that something bad was getting ready to happen, and we just needed to get out of there. So it was weird because it wasn't a house that we usually live. It wasn't a house that we lived in. It was this townhome, and it kind of looked like the projects, but in the inside it was like a luxury home, like big old walk-in closet. It was really strange. So we're scrambling around, we're looking for everything, trying to get this stuff going. Like I said, she went off to the store and stuff like that. I'm literally just thinking like, well, stuff is about to get really bad for some odd reason. Reminding you, the only thing that we felt was the sky changing, and we felt like the Lord was telling us that we had to get out of this area. So we're in the home, we're scrambling around looking for things, trying to get stuff together. It's crazy because I'm sitting there and I'm trying to buy renter's insurance online, because I'm like, if anything goes bad and anybody breaks into our home, or if it's about to be a hurricane or whatever, tornado, whatever, we want to make sure that everything is insured. So I'm updating the policy on the home. I'm doing all this stuff. While all this stuff was happening, it was a cloud that swept down. Nothing but smoke came from the sky. When all throughout the streets, it was just crazy. So people, they were sucked up into this cloud. Some people, they came out, and when they came out, they just started breaking in people's homes. Just people was murdering people. It was just all types of foolishness during this time. Then a cloud disappeared, and as the cloud disappeared, it's like these red little specks that just came from out of nowhere. I don't know what they were, but it was just like eating up all the people that were still outside. While all of this stuff was going on, my wife, she made it back to the house. We were sitting in the house, and it was total chaos that was going on. Then it was crazy because I was looking for my daughter and my goddaughter. Both of them, they was outside running around in the midst of the chaos. And it was just like so strange, because I'm like, these kids, they're not being touched. I'm looking for them. Our next door neighbor, because we was in like some townhomes things, like I said, they look like the Jets. So we in the townhome, this guy, he sets his house on fire. His house completely burns down. Everything stops at my home. So I'm like, and I'm just going to cut it short because there's a lot of other things that was going on, but that was like the main thing that was happening. And I woke up and I prayed when I get up, and I was like, Lord, this is strange. Like, does this dream have any meaning? Like what does this dream mean? Like, why is all this stuff coming on? Why is this smoke coming out of the sky? Why are these people becoming murderous? Why is everybody breaking into people's homes? No police are being called, no nothing. It's completely lawlessness. And I'm right in the midst of everything. And nothing happens to my family. So we're getting prepared because we were supposed to go to Florida, because I said we can go down to Florida, we can get out of Ohio, we can go to Florida because I have a lot of family down there, and I was like, my family has a lot of guns, so if stuff is going crazy, we would be prepared for war or whatever. But when I got up and I prayed and I asked God, like, why in the world, like, what are you trying to show me? He was basically telling me that a lot of times, even though we know that God will protect us in the midst of chaos, a lot of times we don't even have to see the chaos if we were just obedient to what he told us to do the first time. So in the dream, when I got the warning to get up out of there, I wasn't prepared to leave. I had one detail that I left out is in my walk-in closet, we had suitcases in there, and the suitcases were half packed. It had like an item or two of clothing, some socks or whatever, but we didn't have anything else in there. I was trying to insure my home because I didn't want anything to happen if it was broken into. When I already knew that I should have just had the renter's insurance. So I should have had the renter's insurance. I should have already had things packed, because obviously from the way that we were looking at the situation, we were alert. We knew that something was going to happen, and it's not something that God always sends warning before destruction. So it's probably something that he had already prepared us in our mind to be ready for, and we weren't obedient to it. And one thing that I want to say, like I said, I'm not going to have this video be very long, but one thing that we have to understand is that when God gives us those warnings, we have to be obedient the first time. Because as long as we're obedient the first time, yes, he will protect us in certain situations. Sometimes he let us get knocked upside our head because we didn't listen. But the Lord was telling me if I would have been prepared to go the first time, everything that happened would never happen. My kids wouldn't have had to see people get murdered. I would have never had to see stuff being burnt down or broken down. Now I had to deal with, even though this was a dream, but in life a lot of times we have to deal with all the trauma that comes afterwards. All the doors that were open because of our eye gates. If we would have been obedient to God the first time, we would have never had to deal with any of that stuff. And I just want to encourage people, like really encourage people today. When you hear from the Lord, don't question it. I don't care how odd or strange it seems, because he already knows. He knows what's going to happen. He knows the beginning and the ending of every single last situation that takes place on the earth. He's not surprised by anything. And even though we know that God will protect us, in certain situations, it's like we're tempting God to do something that he wouldn't have to do if we would have just listened the first time. So that's basically it. I wanted to be real short because I'm going to be making a whole lot of videos and I don't want to burn people out. But it's one of those things the Lord told me to stop keeping my mouth shut and open up with the things that he shows me. So for those who just might have came in, I had a dream that was, I'm going to be really, really quick. The dream was basically it was chaos in Ohio, and it was like a lot of demonic presence, and people were going crazy and killing each other. The demons was just swallowing people up. It's just nonsense. But the Lord had already told me to get out of here before this stuff happened, and I didn't listen to him. So I had to stay back, and I had to watch everything that was going on. And even though he protected me and my family, they had to see all the death. They had to see people's houses being burnt down and people's cars being set on fire and all this other type of stuff where their eye gates didn't have to be open to that if I would have just listened and been obedient to God when he told me to get out of there. And I didn't. So I just want to let y'all know, it don't matter how strange it is, because the times that we're living in, it's going to be a lot of times where we feel like the Lord is just telling us some stuff that might seem ridiculous. We got to remember that our thoughts is not his thoughts, his ways is not our ways. So God is the superior being over everything. So if he says that this is best, I don't care if he's telling us. I mean, it was crazy stuff that he was telling people in the Bible, telling people literally. I believe it was Isaiah that had to walk around naked for 3 years. You had Hosea who had to allow his wife to be a harlot and had to keep on going back and buying her. You had Ezekiel who God told him to cook his food with cow dung. You literally, he's not telling us to do stuff like that. So when this stuff that just seem like ridiculous to us, believe me, listen to that word and just go about doing what he told us to do, because it's going to save our lives. It's going to completely save our lives. I don't care how crazy or wild it may seem. Anytime the Lord is telling us to do something, let's make sure that we're being obedient the first time. The first time. Because yes, God is full of grace and mercy. But remember, when it came to Cain and Abel, he honored Abel more because Abel came to him with his first fruit. With his first. And that's what we have to do. The Bible tells us to seek ye first, the kingdom of God first. God got to come before everything. He tells us in all our ways acknowledge him, and he will direct our path. We have to go to God first. We have to be obedient to what he has to say to us first, and trust that he's going to have the best answer when it comes to everything, because he knows. He definitely knows. My children would never, in a dream, my children would have never had to see all that foolishness if I would have been obedient from the beginning. So that's just my encouraging word for y'all today. God bless. Love you all.